live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in to Real American. We have a lot of news actually to cover today. We have a few Trump big wins. We have some general party wins, some country wins, and we have a little bit of updates on all the scandals, uh, Epstein and Obama and all that stuff. So we're going to get all into it. But I wanted to real quick just let you all know, if you like the stream, give it a like, give it a share. If you enjoy having your questions read and answered, throw a super chat our way, and we will do our best to get you an answer. Today, I have co-hosting with me right now, Real Texan,
Hello.
and we'll probably have Luke jump in randomly during the other part of the stream, but I don't know. But we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. I wanted to start with tariffs today. Oh, but actually, we're going to start with the super chat. A glitch TV for two laps. Um, late American political. I'm not sure what the APS was. Laps. LAPS.
It's the
Anyway.
inside joke of late American politics. Inside joke because
Okay.
rappers always late to streams.
Yeah, yeah. Always late to the
So the
streams. Goodness
jokes
gracious.
jokes
I
carrying over.
actually, yeah, we're carrying it over. I have to be about 30 seconds late just so that you guys feel like rap is always doing the streams instead of just occasionally. But yeah, really big stuff yesterday out of the tariffs category. I just wanted to start off by saying that Trump reiterated his general strategy towards tariffs, and he's speaking not just to us, but to other countries when he says this. I will always give up tariff points if I can get major countries to open their markets to the USA. Another great power of tariffs. Without them, it would be impossible to get countries to open up. Always zero tariffs to America. So it's pretty clear where Trump is. He wants to reduce the trade deficit however he has to. Tariffs are a very blunt force way to do that. But if he can get people to open up their markets to us, it's always going to be something he opens the door for. He's saying that to the European Union because there are rumors that they really want to close in on a deal before the end of the week, going into next week. Oh, Glitch TV for two. Late American politics, but plural. Gotcha. Um, so let me go ahead and tell you guys this rumor. The US and the EU are nearing a trade agreement that would impose 15% tariffs on European imports, aiming to prevent President Trump's planned hike to 30% set for August 1st. According to the Financial Times, this did just come out. We're not sure exactly how far it'll go, but the one thing to keep in mind about Europe is that they are one of the largest, they have the largest amount of non-tariff barriers for us to deal with. Infinite EU regulation. There's a lot of mess. There's never going to be a clean and straightforward trade deal with the EU set up. We're going to get an announcement, but like the details are never going to be held out there. It'll probably take the longest to get that figured out just because of all the crap and bureaucracy in the European Union. But it looks like they are going to come to the table and make some sort of deal. I'm sure our trade deal team is wanting specific concessions so that we can penetrate their market in specific areas. But we'll keep going through that. John just mentioned Wisconsin and Luke will appear. Yeah, Wisconsin, China, Taiwan is not Chinese Taipei. Also, what I don't know. I don't know. I'll think of more things to piss off Luke later. But let me see here. We had a couple of comments from the administration, from both Howard Lucknick and Scott Bessent, on the great deal we just did with Japan. If you guys didn't see last night, Japan is going to give us reciprocal tariffs of 15%, and they're getting rid of their ad valorem tariffs, which means that all of the expensive products that we want to send into Japan, which includes automobiles, but anything other that's high value, is going to have a fair shot in the Japanese market because we had this ad valorem tax thing, which is where the more expensive a good we tried to sell into Japan was, the higher the tariff would be on it. Now it's just a flat rate. It's a flat reciprocal tariff rate, and people don't realize that that was extremely it was targeted prohibitive measures against U.S. goods, but it was prohibitive measures, and people don't realize that until they understand. Well, Japan's a massive economy, and it's very competitive, and so any amount of like slight reduction in competitiveness you give to foreign countries like the United States, it's you're just not going to do well in the Japanese market. So the flat tariff rate, reciprocal tariff rate, that is really big news for us. We have a couple things. Jonathan Luongo, $2. Rip Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace. Hope you
Yes.
guys. Yeah, I hope you guys were listening to Black Sabbath yesterday. Hope you guys get it. By the way, I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the tubes on the webs about Ozzy, and they basically take all of the rumors about Ozzy, which are mostly perpetrated by himself, because he says insane things. Uh, but people take those and they take them a little bit too seriously. Ozzy was a good guy. He was a great musician and he was a good guy. And yes, he was called the Prince of Darkness. That was kind of his stage name. That was like the way that was his performance name. You have to understand he had to play into it. And so a lot of the things that he said were not true. The only thing that was true, like with the people talking about him eating a bat, that was true. But
It,
you have to
apparently, that
there's
was accidental. It was supposed
yes.
to be fake, but it was real.
Okay, so a fan came up to his
Well, he
concert.
also there was also a time in 1982 he was like extremely drunk and wearing one of like Sharon's dresses, and he was roaming through San Antonio and peed on a monument outside the Alamo and got banned from the city for about 10 years,
Okay,
and then eventually apologized.
none of us are going to claim Ozzy did not do drugs. But
Right.
but um like in terms of like the satanism stuff and like all these other things, a lot of it is blown up. The bat thing was basically that he had a concert going on, and he was, I'm pretty sure, high, and he was on stage rocking it out, and one of the audience members unprompted threw a live bat at him on stage, a live bat. And he, you know, either really caught up in his performance or drugged up, didn't realize, he thought it was like a chew toy, a squeaky toy or something. He thought like they had thrown something fake at him, because why in God's green earth would you throw a live animal at a performer on stage? But yeah, he bit the head off of it, thinking it was a toy, and then he spat it out. He's like, "What the?" So, um,
I just want to know, like, how like the person was able to to bring a live bat into a concert, like, without like any security or like anything.
it's a mystery. It's a mystery, and that's all I can really say about it. I don't, I can't make any sense of it. Um, but it happened. Now, and there's other stuff like there's like scandal articles about him, hurting cats and stuff and all this other crap. None of that, none of that happens. He would say things spontaneously, and to sound disturbing and weird, and he would say infinite amounts of weird and disturbing things that ended up not being true. I got a lecture on this yesterday. If you don't realize, I got an entire lecture on this because uh Lily was talking. Oh yeah, also there's a picture I could bring up. One time where, oh yeah, here. I'll put it in chat for you guys so that you guys can see it too while I give it to the stream. Yeah, here's Sharon Osbourne uh straightening Ozzy's hair with an iron. Can you guys see that? An
Yeah,
iron.
I've seen that before.
Well, at least we know why he called himself Iron Man now. Then
Yeah. All right. That was Iron Man, man. Um, but let me see here. American Nerd for two. God bless tariffs. Take that, free traders. K Cup for five. Trump, sorry for fleecing you guys, especially on the rice thing. Japan is all okay, Donald. We are still love you. Trump, same here, homie. Yeah, no, that's a really big thing. There's been many non tariff barriers and prohibitive actions taken against American agricultural products. We really just haven't been able to sell agricultural products in Japan, and they're now letting us. They're letting us go all in on giving them stuff, and that's going to be a really big deal. Not just because it's a big country, but because it's a big country with a lot of expendable income. So we're going to see how that pans out. But I
Oh,
think agriculture being open to Indonesia and Japan, that's another quarter of a billion people. Big
oh,
business for our
and
American
too,
farmers.
it's not even just agriculture. I mean, as I understand it, we're like now they basically opened up their market to American car makers as well too.
Yep.
So that's another huge market there.
See you
Right.
Ford F-150s in Tokyo. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It
We could see all sorts of things pop up in Japan now. And like I said, that the four value tax was really bad for cars. So tariffs being based off of the value of a good made it pretty much impossible to sell American cars in Japan. That's gone. There's still a 15% tariff, reciprocal tariff, but it is possible now for US cars to compete with Japan. And people ask like, what kind of what kind of cars would Japan buy from America? Okay, number one, there's a massive Westaboo audience in Japan. There's people that
it's
just like
I was gonna say like
America.
there's a not so small audience of like Japanese people that are the equivalent of weebs in the West, where like they unironically watch King of the Hill and then like LARP as like various characters as and so forth. Like Japan has a huge fascination with the U.S. in that regard.
But even beyond Westaboos, you just haven't seen any products made for Japan because it's been a completely locked off market. The fifth largest economy in the world now has its doors open for US cars to manufacture. And I'm guarantee you those cars are going to be tailored specifically for Japanese owners. You're not going to see the results for a couple of years, but now all these American car makers can start thinking about, well, what kind of car do I think people in Tokyo would buy? And that's going to be something we see going forward. They have access to that market. This is one of those big things. Is like a lot of the wins that Trump makes are things that are going to have lasting effects. And like 10, 20 years from now, we will have Trump to thank for them happening, but people will forget that Trump did it in the first place by then. And I just need it's something that we can celebrate right now, even if sometimes the effects of the things we're seeing are long term and not short term. Japan can
Yeah.
buy Jeeps. I don't know if you're saying that as a joke, man, but yeah, no, the company that makes Jeeps is actually suffering pretty hard. They did a merger with a French company, and they're trying to blame it on tariffs, them doing poorly. But if you actually go back to their last year's earnings, they had lost like 20% of their total revenue last year in 2024. So Trump was not responsible for that in 24, was not president in 2024. Sorry, can't blame that on the president, but they can move their headquarters to America and start building manufacturing plants here. Oh, interesting. Interesting idea. Man, a formerly American-based company coming back to America. Oh, who could possibly imagine that? We have chance for 10. What's up, Patriots? You guys see that CBS poll showing Trump down bad with Gen Z? I call BS. Most Gen Zs don't answer polls, and CBS sucks at polling. Might be an
Well,
outlier. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
something to keep in mind too. We're now in that stretch where we're at the equivalent of last year, where we saw all those like Harris favorable pollsters that ended up being false in the end. So, I mean, keep in mind like where we are year wise for polling.
There is also a good explanation for the poll here from Gabe Gudarini. If that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm not sure, but
I think it's Guidarini, but yeah.
Gudarini, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to look into that, I think that's a good explanation for it.
People keep bringing up, oh, well, it's the summer. The young people are out on the beach. They're living their lives. And I think that could be part of it.
I
But the
mean,
other part,
Poland is usually at its worst during the summer, anyways.
yeah,
It, it
everybody's
it
mobile.
could also be economy related things as well too. I mean, like the economy is doing better than it was under like the Biden admin, but it could be possible that a lot of people just aren't seeing the effects of it.
And
So
there could be, maybe a slight Epstein effect, but that's more
yeah,
just young people probably. I mean, I think it's usually the younger ones that care more about Epstein than the older ones.
I can believe that.
I'm gonna be real. The main thing to me is the degree of the swing, and they're saying that there's been like a 50 something percent swing, like a 50-point drop. It's something where I would believe it if it was in smaller margins, if it was in realistic margins, but I just think we're being screwed
It,
with, and just because of
it,
the portions, like if it was like -10, I'd be like, oh man, that's really bad. Oh geez, or -15. Oh
it,
man, we really took a hit. -50, I'm like, oh, I get
it
it. You're full of shit. Like that's where my
yeah,
brain goes.
it's the equivalent of when Ann Seltzer came out with the Harris +3 Iowa poll. It's like, okay,
What are
yeah,
we
I just don't
talking
believe
about?
you.
What are we talking about?
It's
Oh,
that poll with the young people and stuff.
yeah, CBS poll where like Gen Z was down like 50 points on CBS's poll.
Do not listen to age crosstabs in polls for the last fucking time. Don't do it. They're
But
dog
I
shit.
don't.
They're
So
fucking dog shit. Okay? They show like 50-point swings every month. Half the time the polls show Trump is like 70% with Gen Z. The other time say he has like a 5%. Okay? It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Just don't listen to age crosstabs. I only pay attention to the fucking exit polls. What Gen Z typically shows in exit polls is that the total generation votes about D+10, but the younger ones vote Republican, the older ones vote Super Democrat. That's usually how it works. Or at least they vote more Republican. So that's how it is. Gen Z is not super right-wing. I've seen a lot of the groypers online saying that, oh, they only oppose Trump because they're far right. They're not. They're not.
Oh,
Just
there's like 4 or 5. I've seen a bunch of tweets saying exactly what you're just talking about. They're just like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
just
Do not
you
fucking
wait,
listen to
lefties.
polling crosstabs. Yeah.
Just you
That's
wait,
all you guys gotta
lefties.
do.
For the record, we weren't dooming about the poll, Luke. So.
We
Those
weren't
same
we weren't
exit polls
we
show
weren't
Trump
doing
as
we were answering a
good.
super chat, and all of us were pretty
I know.
skeptical of the results.
I
But
will think some of those polls have Trump at like a 30% approval rating with blacks. Like that's not happening. It's not
Yeah, I mean,
happening.
crosstabs are always going to
it,
be flawed anyway.
to,
So.
actually, Trump's approval rating with blacks up through the roof. I don't know if you realized. They really expect.
We're winning black voters next year, as we've
Yeah.
saying since 2018. But anyways,
we're winning black voters, dog. No. Anyways, so that was a super chat. I got one more here. American Nerd for 2. Is Ozzy one of the few rockers to live a long life? That is an insane thing to think about. He lived to like 70. What was it? 76, 70, 73.
I think it was 76.
Nowadays, that's not really that old, to be honest.
The Palestine people were very happy he died because apparently he supported Israel. I just found out that today.
Fucking.
Are you sure you're not mixing up with
fucking
the guy who the lead singer of Kiss? You sure you're not mixing up with him?
No,
The
it
lead
was
singer
they
of
were
Kiss is
together.
okay. Gene Simmons
No,
is
I looked
actually
into him and he was
born in-
encouraging people to perform in Israel and not do the boycott stuff. So I guess he was.
And Gene Simmons was actually born in
Also
Israel.
looked at apparently he was a practicing member of the Church of England, which is completely weird as fuck. Like I didn't expect. I don't know.
It
Yeah.
kind of makes sense anyways, considering he's English.
Well, something that a lot of people don't pick up on, which I've noticed with a couple of my friends that listen to a lot of metal, if metal people get too hard into it, they actually end up becoming Christian. It's actually a really funny thing.
That happened with I think it happened with like both the lead people of Megadeth.
Yeah.
It happened with I think same thing with Slayer as well too.
Well, and
I
that's
think
the point.
even like Metallica, like I think James Hetfield is a Christian now.
Well, yeah,
He might
that's
be. There or Alice
or at least like
Cooper.
praised before shows, but that's about it.
that's
like,
that's
there
the only
does seem to
point
be
I
a
wanted to make with
pipeline.
Ozzy. Like a lot of people were accusing like Ozzy of Satanism. I saw Lord Miles go on a rant, bringing up a bunch of like rumors from like a long time ago about Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm actually contractually
I looked
obligated.
into him, and it turned out he was like super religious. That he also prayed before every show he gave. So like that was a common.
No.
I guess that's just a common thing with these people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this whole like almost ultra trad shit we're seeing, where like everyone is satanic. It's just like Like,
I
bro,
mean,
like,
even then, that's a common theme with boomers since like the fucking
well, no, it's
50s.
not even
Really.
boomers, dude. It's these
I
trad
know
people.
that, but I mean,
It's
like,
like this new.
okay, maybe
It's
not
like
boomers,
the
but like,
counterculture where they're just trying to counter the culture from like the 90s. So like the
Yeah.
counterculture back then was like nothing satanic. And now these people are just like everyone's satanic. If
Well,
you're in government, you're satanic. If you
you
are
go back
any
to
famous person, you're satanic. Like Lord Miles, for example. I love the
yeah.
guy. I love his travel videos, but bro, he's just so autistic with everything he says. Like Satan, I don't watch any modern movies because it's all satanic. It's all slop. Satan,
Oh,
satanic.
And
yeah,
to
I
put
mean,
people behind
that's
you,
the thing. I mean, people have been. I mean, even like going back to 1955, you had like the old people that were saying that Elvis was satanic, which is
that's
probably even
Well, now
further from the
the
laughable.
truth than
problem
your
is
average rock star. Yeah.
the boomers don't even say shit like that anymore outside of
Yep.
evangelicals. And now the Zoomers, or well, not most of the Zoomers, but this weird subset of online almost McCarthyists with everything. It's just everything's satanic. You
Well,
can't enjoy any
Uh,
TV show because it's made by the Satanists. You
Yeah,
can't
because
enjoy any modern shit.
it's
You have to
I feel like it's
listen
more like the
to you
woke
have to
stuff.
listen to you have to listen to Franco marching music, and that's it. You can't listen to any modern music. It's all satanic. Nah,
Or it's like
well,
that
I
look
think
North
it's
at his
Okay,
where
okay,
important
like
to
Luke,
point
Luke,
every,
out.
Luke.
and
Chat
his
wants
people are
me.
listening.
Chat wants me to tell
Okay.
you that you have won the call. You have won the call. Actually, everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody here agrees with you, but you're still crashing out.
I'm
But
mad. You know why I'm crashing out? You know why I'm fucking crashing out? Okay. Because I have to door knock in 100-degree weather because I need to prove that I care this much. Yeah, and I'm waiting for my friend to show up because I'm dragging my friend into this because I'm like, if I'm gonna die of heat stroke, I'm bringing someone down with me. So,
amen, amen, brother. Okay, K Cup for 2. Luke, thoughts on Marquette's poll with Trump at 45%?
oh no, it doesn't. I think that means his approval is probably like 48%. Marquette's a pretty left-leaning pollster, but that same poll found 60% of Americans supported mass deportations. So I'm not, and they approve of Trump on the border. They just disapprove of him on everything else. So
Chance for 5. Luke, to be clear, I thought the poll was BS. My take is Gen Z might be upset at something Trump did. They still like him. They certainly don't hate him. Okay, so Chance just clarifying from earlier. Anyways, let's just get through the tariff stuff because I had a couple things to bring up about the tariffs. Howard Lutnick, quote, the Japanese are going to give America the ability to choose projects, decide projects, and execute projects with the $500 billion that Japan is investing into the American market. And Howard Lutnick in this clip, he brings up that pharmaceuticals might be one of those things, or any other thing that we need for national security purposes. The Japan is going to help us invest in our own national security by building up businesses for essential supply chain goods, which is amazing. It's part of why they got the 15% reciprocal tariff rate. We have here Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Thanks to POTUS's leadership, we were secured a historical trade deal with Japan. 550 billion in investment. Sorry, not 500, 550. 90% of the profits go to the United States. 15% reciprocal
of
tariffs.
America, that's
Japan,
fucking going.
yeah. Japan earned that right by offering innovative financial tools to boost U.S. projects. This is a win for American workers and industry. I like this for multiple reasons. I like it because it's a really good deal for us being on more of a level playing field with Japanese goods because this is, again, this is better than Indonesia. It's better than the Philippines. It's better than Vietnam because the people in Japan have actual purchasing power. That 120 million person market has actual purchasing power. They are capable of buying our high-end goods. And so while in some of these other Asian countries, we may be able to sell rice and pork and soybeans and chicken and all this other crap, in Japan, they're actually able to buy some of our high-tailored goods, which means that this really could be a massive boom to American manufacturing. So really happy about that. They're also taking our agriculture. And there's been a rice shortage in Japan up until recent, and they've been having trouble with it. And I think that this probably solves their rice shortage since they
Anyway, it's
now.
gotta crash down. Now I gotta go die so that we can vote out Tony Evers next year. Okay, thank you
All
guys. I'll
right.
see you.
God bless, Luke. God bless.
Good
All
one.
right. Don't we love Luke, our brave soldier, going out into the
We did.
wilderness to
So
win
true.
for
So true.
Republicans. Okay. Inari for 5, Satanism today is atheism with extra childish edge slash cringe. Yeah, it was always like an atheist movement. They're sometimes naturalist is a term that's thrown around to describe them. But yeah, it's general. If you go and you look at the beliefs of Satanism, it's basically a set of justifications for hedonistic behavior. That's pretty much what it is.
Honestly, Satanism is probably just more of a Gen Z leftist thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have a friend who was a Satanist, and he was really specific. He's like, I don't worship Satan, bro. I just believe that I can do XYZ with no consequences. And then, eventually, like, he was 12 when he was describing this, by the way. And then we got into high school, and he was like, oh, yeah, screw that. I'm just an atheist. And that's how he ended up. And I think a lot of people kind of have shedded those kinds of layers, and they're like, I think a lot of atheists understand there needs to be some sort of moral accountability, but they just don't know how to set a standard. And they try to pretend it's like a logical fallacy of saying that you need religion to have a moral standard, but they're pretty bad at creating a standard on their own merits. So, um, let's see here. Okay, so we had Howard Lutnick and Scott Bessent going on the things. They're doing victory laps, and then we went and there was reporters asking Prime Minister Ishiba for comment on the tariffs. Total silence. And the totals. I wasn't totally convinced that all of this stuff was true, but then the total silence from Prime Minister the Prime Minister of Japan told me, oh, okay, this is really bad for him. He just lost an election, and this is a really bad trade deal. But
There were also
hey,
rumors that he was going to resign, but I don't know if those are true or not.
no, it turns out that one of the people that was reporting that said that it was actually shown to be false. They were saying it towards the end of August he would resign, but the latest news I have on that is that was a hoax. Okay. But anyways, let's see. So I think that's most of the stuff with tariffs. Oh yeah. We just have Trump going on and bringing this up. Japan is for the first time ever opening its market to the U.S., even to cars, SUV trucks, everything else, even agriculture and rice, which was always a complete no. The open market Japan may be as big a profit factor as the tariffs themselves, but was only gotten because of tariff power. They also agreed to buy billions of dollars worth of military and other equipment. So yeah, make America great again. This is bigger than the UK, because Japan is a bigger economy than the UK, and they have twice the population, and they have not previously
Even though it's
allowed.
declining.
I think Japan is like our fifth biggest trade partner. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is.
They are massive.
They're overall like one of our biggest allies as well. So.
They're one of our biggest allies, and it's really cool. They have some tumultuous political situation right now where they may end up having to do another election if they can't form a government. But I think right now we're kind of convinced they're going to figure out somehow to make a government. But the main thing that I would just bring up about all of this is this was bigger than the UK, bigger than Vietnam, bigger than Indonesia, Philippines. But all of those are good, but this is really big. It's because of the purchasing power and the 120 million population, and that how big of an economy Japan is. So we're all really happy about that. As far as everything else, looks like South Korea is going to be locked up for a while, so we won't get a deal with that. But again, if you remember those countries that we went through that we're waiting to get deals with, looks like we're going to be closing a deal before the end of August with the EU. We closed with China. So all that's really left is continuing the squabbles with Canada and Mexico. And that's pretty much it. After that, we've kind of locked away all of our major trade partners, except for South Korea, which is going to continue to be unsettled, I think, for a while because of their political circumstances.
I gotta head out now, but it was good talking, guys. See you
later, dude. Cake up for 5, my non-Christian friends. You think you're better than us because you're Christian. Me, my God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Teach me right from wrong. So true, K-Cub. So true. But anyways, we'll move on to a couple of things. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll get the Maxwell stuff out of the way. So we had 2 things come up. We had Attorney General Pam Bondi make a big dump of text from DAG Todd Blanche, Deputy Attorney General. Only thing you need to know is the last paragraph. At the direction of Attorney General Bondi, I have communicated with counsel for Miss Maxwell to determine whether she would be willing to speak with prosecutors from the department. I'm sure you guys talked about this on stream yesterday. But the DOJ is trying to meet with Maxwell. There's rumors that Maxwell is going to be bad, but there's also rumors that Maxwell's attorney has already stated that they're going to meet with the DOJ. Regardless of that, more news that happened yesterday. The Oversight Committee approved a motion to issue a subpoena to Ghislaine Maxwell. So there's this fight between the GOP House Oversight Committee and the DOJ to get stuff from Maxwell first. Regardless of what happens, I just wanted to give you my take on it. My take is I want Maxwell to give us information. If she is probably the only person on planet Earth that could give you any sort of justice. If you were wanting justice out of the Epstein thing, even, no matter how unlikely you think it is, she's probably the only person that can give you a connection between names and crimes. And if you don't have a connection between names and crimes, you can't prosecute anyone. So all those people on Twitter whining, well, what more evidence do you need? Like anything. Because as of right now, if you look at the actual court case that Maxwell went through, nothing has been revealed. Nothing has been unsealed. We have no information to prosecute literally anyone. We just know there are names, and we know there are crimes, but we don't have the names, and we probably don't have the crimes either. So, and when I say this, we all have a general understanding of what happened. But when you are trying to prosecute someone in a court of law, you can't just go on vague sentiments. You have to actually have something to work with. And if there's one person on planet Earth that can give us a connection between crimes and names, it's Maxwell. Now, as far as do I think it's going to happen, I'm kind of more so in the nothing ever happens camp with that. So I'm not giving you hopium, but I'm just telling you, if you were wanting something, if you were really fired up about this entire time, this would be the thing to hinge your hopes on. If you have hope for this, I don't have hope for it, but if you were to have hope for it, you would want Maxwell. Anyways, so that's my take. American Nerd for 2, would this count as a plea bargain for her? She already took a deal where she didn't have to plea anything. That's the thing that I see so many people not saying or bringing up. She already is completely fine with not saying anything. And this was something that the corrupt DOJ did back during the previous term. This was an irreversible thing that happened that was going to prevent us from ever having any sort of closure on any of this. So I again, it might be reversed. They might make a deal with her. We don't know. But if you're asking me if I want her to say things, I want her to say things behind closed doors that give us the things we need to prosecute people. That's what I want from Maxwell. Just connect names to crimes. I don't think it's hard to understand. But yeah. Anyways, there we go. Clickbait's done. Clickbait's over with. We have a few of the things that we could talk about. Did you have anything, Texan, that you had posted in general? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Gabe Guidarini. I'm a college student who talks to my yeah, this is about the polls, the CBS News poll. I'm a college student who talks to my peers. A major reason this trend is occurring is because a lot of Gen Z thinks the Trump admin, quote, isn't going hard enough. The leftists bragging about this data aren't aware of this, ostensibly because most of them are out of touch millennials, old millennials, and simply have no idea what is occurring in the 18 to 22 age group. This is a more broad statement that I can agree with. I know Luke was crashing down on, oh, this is horrible. You should never think that people are going more right wing. But more broadly speaking, you talk to these younger people, they're going pretty radical in both directions. And I see that. I see that really hard in the 18 to 22 age group. I can believe actually that there's a lot of right-wing people that just maybe not be further right than Trump, but they just have disagreements with how Trump's doing things more so than what he's doing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I've got a couple of smaller things to bring up. Oh, Olympics news. U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee bans transgender women from women's sports. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have gotten the Troons out of the Olympics. Why were they there in the first place? Nobody knows.
I
But,
don't know, but now the liberals are going to boycott the Olympics. So
liberals will boycott the Olympics, and it will be the cool, if they do, will be the coolest Olympics ever, because like liberals are the
I
people
mean, they
that
were
ruin
already probably going to
Olympics.
boycott it anyways because Trump was, the president that's going to be opening the games. So
Yep. I'm glad that we finally got Trump Olympics. They were stolen from us last time. We have them this time. And they're going to be glorious. The
well,
28 Summer Olympics.
the last U.S. president to open an Olympics was oh yeah, 2010 winter for Obama, and then Summer Olympics that would have been Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, we have that with the Olympics. It's going to be cool. I hope. And something that Trump said a few months ago when he was talking about this was that he was going to make sure that they actually make it cool. He was like, we're not going to have any of the Marxist crap. We're not going to have any of the hyper liberal crap. The Olympics are going to be like actual, red meat Olympics, masculine Olympics. We're not going to do any of the pansy stuff. We're not going to do any of the leftist catering. We're just going to have a real Olympic Games. So I am actually excited for that. I'm excited for all of that. Uh, uh, oh yeah, we will bring up real quick the JD fundraiser. This is an article from New York Post that I'm going to have to make a little bit smaller so that you guys can see it. Yeah, JD Vance rakes in $3 million for the GOP at Nantucket fundraiser, setting record for Ritzy Island. Vice President J.D. Vance headlined a big ticket fundraiser Tuesday on Nantucket, raking in $3 million in donations for Republicans as the 26 midterm elections draw closer. Post can reveal. The fundraising dinner, hosted at a private residence by Laura and Rob Reynolds with Dave Kelsey and Ozzy Palomo, raised a record amount of money for any donor event on the Massachusetts island for the Republican National Committee, according to a source. Vance, as RNC finance chair, has been a difference maker already, one GOP strategist said. Quote, if you look at the DNC, there is no one with a similar stature headlining event after event for them. The RNC has already surpassed the DNC in contributions in 25, racking up more than 96 million in donations and holding a war chest of 81 million. American Nerd for Two. Trump should open the Olympics with YMCA. Yeah, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, no, this is the main thing. When we've been talking about fundraising, we've had a little bit of pushback from people like Rich Barris on fundraising, where he's like, if you think that the fact that the RNC has more money than the DNC matters at all, then you're 3 cycles behind. The DNC has been racking up money through third parties. And it's like, well, yeah, we know, but their major smurfing operation has been canceled, and their U.S. aid contracts that they were using to funnel money into specific races is canceled. So we still feel like there is a massive financial hit being taken by the DNC. And it's just natural for us to be very happy that, oh wow, the GOP actually has more money for once. Like, they actually have more money. Yeah, I don't know. And also, I would say to Barris, or for anyone else that has like a criticism, are you going to say that the Democrats are going to raise via third party more money than that Trump war chest, that $1.5 billion, probably $2 billion by the end of the year war chest? Is that what you're claiming? Because I don't think that. I don't think it's even remotely true. We're going to have more money than them this time. So no, just something I thought was worth bringing up. Oh yeah, one more small story. The IRS. President Trump cuts 25% of the workforce at the IRS, firing over 26,000 staff members. So that very overinflated company. And remember, more context for you guys, that we talked about this before, but just for anyone who forgot, Biden was weaponizing the IRS against us, against conservative people, against religious people. He was going after people from churches, pro-life groups. The IRS was being weaponized against the majority of American citizens. And now, instead of that, it's getting cut. It's getting cut. So we're all happy about that. All happy about the tax collectors getting their teeth kicked in. Yeah. No, no, Grim Sparrow, that's exactly what I was saying. He's raised 1.5 billion. I don't believe for half a second that the Dems are going to raise that amount through third parties. There's just something wrong. There's something dysfunctional about DNC fundraising right now, and it has to do with the fact that they have no leader, while the GOP has multiple leaders, has a few leaders, and they're
Well,
all together.
really one big one, and that's Donald Trump.
We have one big one, Donald Trump, and then under Donald Trump, you have these emerging like Gen X and millennial leaders, and Rubio and Vance and a few other people that are really becoming kind of stars for the administration. They're mostly cabinet members, but needless to say, we have real leadership and an extent. I think it's important to say it extends beyond Donald Trump now. Um, and it's multiple people, but it extends beyond Donald Trump. Speaking of which, we have stuff from them right now. Actually, I have a news story for Rubio. Oh, take up for two. Aren't the Dems still paying off Harris's campaign? I think they got it taken care of, but they were in the hole. Like what was it, $20 million? It was pretty bad. I think they're $20 million in the hole at the end of it. I think they've got it and it paid off. American Nerd for two. Didn't Obama also use IRS agents against his critics? Yes. And that is why whenever these people come up and like, well, you can't use the government against your enemies because, well, what if the left does bad things next time they're in power? Look, regardless of what we do or don't do, the Democrats are going to do terrible things to us every time that they're in power. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time that we've shyly capitulated to Democrat rule, they have taken it to try and dissolve our rights from existence and us into like the perfect encapsulation of persecute the taxpayer, benefit the people replacing us. Like it's been horrible. Where have you been? And so one of those things that really emotionally radicalized me last year. I can't get over the hurricanes last year, man. The In the North Carolina, the flooding, in was Southwest Virginia, in the Appalachians by Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. That crap, the response to it, and then people being ignored because they're Trump supporters during those natural disasters last year. Holy crap! That I was pretty done there. I won't let people forget about that. That was horrible. But yeah, speaking of leadership in the GOP, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is opening an investigation into Harvard's authority to sponsor exchange visas. Visa sponsorship is a privilege, and sponsors who conduct tarnishes, uh, sponsors whose conduct tarnishes our nation's interest will lose that privilege. Oh my. So I really do want more action than words on this. I'm going to be real. I want more action than words on this because it seems like we capitulated to China in one of the latest trade deals, a 30% trade deal, that, oh, yeah, we're going to let your foreign students hang around or they're going to keep them. So it feels like to me that this is part of the economics. If China raises their tariffs because we revoke their visas, that's going to really suck. Um, but I would still want us to do it anyways because the percentages of our highest degrees, our most prestigious institutions, all that stuff that we pay money into through tax dollars too, by the way, those institutions are being used by foreigners. It's not being used by Americans, by actual red-blooded American citizens. It's just foreigners hanging out in our most prestigious institutions, and they're not trying to develop capital for the country. They're not trying to make our country better. They're actually just trying to steal all our ideas and run back to their home country and plunder whatever loans they can take from us on the way out. Um, I don't like it at all. So I would like Rubio to take action on this, but I'm glad there's an investigation. Glad that we're moving forward. And more leadership. Tulsi Gabbard, she did this thread. We don't have to read through the whole thing, but I wanted to bring up that Tulsi giving us more information on her revealed documents in regards to Obamagate or whatever you want to call it. New evidence has emerged of the most egregious weaponization and politicization of intelligence in American history. Per President Trump's directive, I have declassed a House Intel Oversight Majority Staff report that exposes how the Obama administration manufactured the January 2017 Intelligence Community assessment that they knew was false, promoting the lie that Vladimir Putin and the Russian government helped Trump win the election in 2016. So
Or
here
as
is a
or
list.
as Trump calls the Russia scandal.
Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah, Russia, Russia, Russia. Maybe that's the name of the scandal. Russia, Russia, Russia.
Yeah.
Right. So a few things. Lie. Putin and the Russian government helped Trump with the election. Truth. President Obama, John Brennan, and others fabricated the Russia hoax, suppressed intelligence showing Putin was preparing for a Clinton victory, manufactured findings from shoddy sources, disobeyed IC standards, and knowingly lied to the American people. That's like that's a really big part of this that people like gloss over. Putin would probably have invaded sooner. He probably would have invaded sooner. And Trump likes talking about this, but people don't really get it because I don't think he articulates it very well. If Trump was not in office in 2017 to 2021, Vladimir Putin would have invaded Ukraine sooner. He did have to prepare. He did have to stockpile. It probably would have been later in the term, but a Hillary Clinton presidency would have forced Putin to move, and the Ukraine war would have started like 3 years sooner, probably. My guess would be about 3 years sooner. So yeah, no,
And I do wonder, and honestly, got to wonder how Hillary would have reacted. Would we probably have sent troops to Ukraine?
That's a very real possibility because she might have done that thinking that she could copy George W. Bush and ride the enthusiasm into a second term, right? Declare war,
Yeah.
hoorah. Mr. Biz Nasty asking if I will pull for Frolova. She's kind of cute, but this is a gotcha question, by the way. She's kind of cute, but again, I'm a free to play. I don't spend money on gotcha, so I'm probably gonna wait for another banner to show up unless there's like some minor character I'm trying to get. I'm probably waiting, dude. I'm probably saving my pulls. Just gonna be real. Okay. Don't know why I'm answering gotcha questions on the Real American live stream, but okay. Thank you, Mr. Biznasty. Okay, more stuff. Lie. The fabricated Steele dossier was not used as a source in the Obama administration's intelligence community assessment of the election. Truth. Not only did Director Brennan, Director Comey, and Clapper include the Steele dossier in the 2017 ICA, they overruled senior intel officials who warned them it was fabricated and should not be used. Patently ignored them, kept using it. Here's something that directly implicates Obama, by the way. Lie. The Obama administration's January ICA was an independent intelligence community product produced with apolitical analysis. Truth. Obama ordered the intelligence community to create an intelligence community assessment they knew was false, promoting a contrived narrative with the intent of undermining the legitimacy and power of a duly elected president of the United States. So, yep, those were all the stuff. That was the thread. I ended up reading the thread because it was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. But as you guys can see, they're trying to implicate Obama
and that's the whole
directly.
Tulsi thread, right?
That's the whole Tulsi thread. Yeah, that's the whole Tulsi thread. Let's see, she has one more thing talking about the June 2018 report, the Clinton annex. The Russia hoax was a lie that was knowingly created by the Obama administration to undermine the legitimacy and power of the duly elected president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. It's really funny when you go back and look at posts from 2017, 2018, because you see this in the public frame. Like someone had just posted, I'll pull it up here for you guys, but somebody had been posting this 2017 Donald Trump post. Terrible. Just found out Obama had my wires tapped in the Trump Tower before victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. All the posts are like, oh, look, literally evil. Stephen Underwood's president, or how horrible. Correct. Making allegations without evidence is a little definition of McCarthyism, and somebody just making fun of him for having a bad temper or whatever. Is the president exempt from libel and defamation laws? Asking for a friend. You go down these threads. Not only do you remember how bad Twitter used to be, but you also realize everybody was hook, line, and sinker for the Steele dossier thing. Hook, line, and sinker for, oh, Trump is just a Russian asset that got elected president. That insanity was fully accepted by the American public. Cake up for 2. Tulsi is an RILBBB based beautiful badass. Um, I yeah, I'm glad you have enthusiasm for her K cup. Yeah, God bless. We like our girl boss DNI. Uh, let me see here. Yeah, that was actually most of the news that I wanted to go over. I have a little bit more to go over. But if you guys have any like, I know I'm doing the stream early again, aren't I? I gotta keep the stream going a little bit. But if you have any super chats that you really want me to read out, make sure that you get them in now. Because I don't know, we might cut the stream into an hour. But I have a couple more things for us to talk about outside of Ozzy and his bad ironing. Uh, this just keeps popping up every time I close the other tabs. Let's see here. I wanted to bring this up. I don't know if you guys talked about this yesterday, but Representative Yvette Clarke from New York, quote, I need more migrants in my district for redistricting purposes.
Right. I mean, that's a video I think that was around a long time ago, but it's resurfaced because of the
It's resurfaced.
redistricting stuff.
Yeah. Well, whether it's new or old, we all know that this is the way that they were thinking, and that's what they want. They want to game the system through migrants, and it when your enemy says what they're doing out loud, I guess listen to them. Let them tell you who they are. But it's pretty despicable. Um, I guess we can ask this. A real Texan, someone in chat's wanting to know how many Senate seats can we pick up in the year 26? What do you think?
Let me look at the map here.
I know it's pretty insane in Inferno.
Realistically, I'm gonna say probably 2 to 3, maybe. I think 2 is probably the most likely with Georgia and Michigan. New Hampshire's probably a sleeper flip. That might be a little tougher though. Minnesota, you probably lost all hope with Ilhan Omar not running, and we're probably running that Royce. Probably, I think we're running Royce White again, so you could take off the list.
Yeah, definitely have
Virginia.
at
I
least.
don't know. Virginia, I don't think Mark Warner's going to retire, or even if he does, it starts as likely Democratic. So I wouldn't get your hopes up for that. That's all I have really. So
Yeah, my take's generally just been like a net 2, which is like we might hold seats and gain a couple, or we might lose a seat and gain 2 or 3. If we gain 3, we probably lose somewhere else. So yeah, maybe 2 Senate seats. But that is something that we'll have more streams on going forward. We'll have plenty of election streams talking about all that stuff. Oh, chance for 5. Texan makes a good point. AO Ukraine impacting Hillary's term if she won. But what about COVID? How do you think that would have affected Hillary in 2020?
my guess it would have. Well, yeah, that is a good point with the economy, because she definitely would not have emphasized the economy as much as Trump had. So you probably would have seen a much longer lockdown, possibly even up to the election. So the election could have been entirely mail-in voting, and that also obviously will lead to some conspiracy theories. Whether you believe they're true or not, that's up to you. But
Well, that's the most horrifying thought about like a Clinton presidency is that she goes to war. There's a giant plague. She's extremely unpopular, but still somehow wins the 2020 election. That's like a nightmare scenario. I don't want to think about living in that world. Because like
Yeah.
the I'm just going to be honest with you. When you lose, the GOP decides it needs to go further left. And so if they had lost 4 presidential elections in a row and we came up to 2024, oh gosh, I don't know what kinds of conversations we would be having, but I'm guessing half of the rap crew would be transgender. I don't know. It would be pretty bad, man.
Uh,
I
I
don't want to
wouldn't.
think about
Sure.
that. That was a joke, by the way. But
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I obviously would not be, but
no, no, just letting chat know that was a joke. Don't want anybody
yeah.
getting weird ideas. Um, but Rapid Response was posting a little bit more about arrests, and I wanted to use this tab to talk about arrests in general. New numbers on ICE arrests in Ohio show a shocking increase since President Trump took office, more than tripling the number of daily arrests. We've been seeing double and triple arrest numbers across the country, and even in major cities, we see that daily arrests are going up from the hundreds to 300s. It's a lot of momentum, and I only expect them to grow as we get more ICE recruits, more funding. Every single time I see an ad for like joining ICE, I retweet it. By the way, you guys should too. Like, because I see these, they look like they have massive, like, great benefits. Um, Let me see if I can pull up the benefits, because you get like a bonus contract for signing on. I don't know how many of you guys are qualified or would be interested in doing that, but the benefits are something like you can probably get a 6-figure salary, federal health benefits, which are always really good, $45,000 signing bonus, and you get to deport criminal invaders. It's not a safe job. They're like and assaults on ICE officers have increased 800%. So, but if you want to go be a soldier, you want to go brave the night, you are pretty set. That's a really comfy salary, um, compared to stuff a lot of other people do. Uh, oh, American Nerd for Two is asking an election question: is Mike Lawler gonna run for New York governor or
The,
dot dot dot?
the answer is no. He's running for re-election. That is confirmed. Moving next question.
Chance for 5. GOP probably would have lost 4 races in a row if Trump hadn't run. They would have kept nominating losers like Jeb Bush, McCain, Romney, potentially Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley could have been a very big possibility. If Trump's didn't happen. Uh, K Cup for 5. Hot take: 2020 election doesn't happen with Hillary as president. Tinfoil hat take: COVID doesn't happen. I was gonna say that, but I was thinking about not saying that, and I did. I ended up not saying it. But Keiko, I was thinking that while we were discussing. I was like, would there have been a pandemic if Trump wasn't president? I had those thoughts right as the pandemic started. By the way, I was like, man, is this really the spoiler? We're going to try and do this. Um, but in my head and in my heart, I think I know, like, the screwing around will still happen. The selling out of America would still be happening, and really, COVID was caused by partially the selling out of America, us giving things that should never be given to random Chinese scientists and chemists and everything. We were giving them stuff that they should never have access to, gain of function research and all that other crap. And I don't see Clinton stopping gain of function research just because she's in power. I see it continuing. So COVID would probably still happen, but I get the impulse. I get the impulse to say that. Uh, I totally do. But then this isn't really news, but somebody was bringing up this point, showing a map from Afghanistan, showing Iran and Pakistan, which are the neighboring countries. In Iran, they deported 1.1 million Afghans this year, and in Pakistan, they deported 1.3 million Afghans from Pakistan since January of last year. So both Pakistan, much smaller country than us, Afghanistan, much smaller country than us. These people are capable of deporting millions. Now, do they have the same standards, the humane standards that we do, where we try to treat them right and feed them ham sandwiches and not, you know, basically lock them up in a box and throw them out? Uh,
All right. Terribly sorry, but I gotta go. So I'll see you
all
later.
right, later. Later, dude. Do we have the same standards? Do we lock up the do we lock up these people in boxes? No, we don't. We absolutely do not. Um, but at the same time, we could be doing more. And hopefully the new funding and everything helps us out. The new funding, the new troops. The ICE now has a larger military budget than a lot of people on the face of the planet. So we're going to have to see what we're capable of doing. But hopefully, as the years pile on, we get more and more better results from these operations. American Nerd for two. So with no Lawler, who do we have for New York next year? Well, I heard that I don't know if we ever got any updates on it, but I heard Zeldin was contemplating trying again, like leaving his EPA seat to try again for governor because he got so close. I think that they may have crossed that out, but that was news from months ago. I don't know if they ever followed up on that. But I know Zeldin was thinking about it. Uh, otherwise, it is a little bit of a scant field. Let's see here. But yeah, so ICE arrests are increasing. Our trade deals are going through. Trump is fulfilling his promises. Everything that you could really want out of the admin is coming true, including all the stuff people have been upset about recently. We're having movement on that. And so I would just really encourage people to sit tight. Maybe you feel like trust in the plan again, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lot of great stuff happening in general. So I just want you to keep that in mind, and I want you to keep bright spirits. That was most of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Actually, I would throw my tabs. So we'll go ahead and close the show here. But I do want you all to know, love you. I very much appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna have some more stuff. I think I'll do a video if you guys want on Hunter Biden's little interview because there's so many little things I want to go over. So I might yap about that on a video later this afternoon. But otherwise, God bless all of you. Keep yourselves in high spirits throughout your days, and Godspeed to all of you.